In this video, we will learn how to classify organic molecules by recognizing and identifying their functional groups. So here's the list of functional groups you need to know. You should make flashcards so that you can recognize these different functional groups. These functional groups, when present on an organic molecule, help determine what the physical properties and chemical properties of that substance is. By chemical properties, we really mean what chemical reactions can that organic molecule undergo. When we're trying to identify our functional groups, we are looking for key features such as double bonds between carbon atoms or triple bonds between carbon atoms or heteroatoms such as oxygen or nitrogen and even sulfur. So those are the key structural features that your eyeball should zero in on. If you have a heteroatom such as oxygen bonded to a carbon that's also bonded to a second heteroatom, this is all part of one functional group because they share a carbon. If they do not share a carbon, then they are part of two separate functional groups. I didn't finish drawing out a complete molecule. So that's two functional groups. So, for instance, alcohols here versus carboxylic acids. This is a carboxylic acid because the OH and the double bond to the O share a carbon. This is an alcohol and a ketone because they do not share a carbon. So this is not an alcohol and a ketone, this is a carboxylic acid. There, now it's a complete molecule. So I don't expect you to know the names of the different functional groups quite yet, but you will be learning them throughout the semester. What I want you to do now is look at this molecule, which is vitamin B12, and try to identify what the functional groups are and circle them. This is actually an example. The next one is a practice problem. So this is an example of an alcohol. And so I circled the carbon that the OH is attached to. Here is another alcohol. This carbon is double bonded to an O, but that carbon's also single bonded to this nitrogen. So this is part of the same functional group, and this is called an amide. And this, they share a carbon, and so this is a carboxylic acid. Here's a practice problem for you. I want you to circle the functional groups present in the following molecules. If you know how to name them, you can also practice naming them, but that's not one of the expectations quite yet. Unpause the video when you are ready to check your work. Okay, so let's go over this. That's an alcohol. I'm going to circle the carbon it's attached to as well. Alcohol. 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 And this is also a functional group. This is a hydrogen off of here because remember hydrogens are like filler atoms, and so whenever you see a line structure like this, hydrogens are filler so that carbon has 4 bonds. So there's really a hydrogen coming off of this, and so that's an aldehyde. It's kind of like those search and find pictures where you have to find the objects that are hidden in the picture. Here you're searching and hunting for the functional groups. In aspartame, which is an artificial sweetener, we have this carbon, which has a double bonded O, but that's also attached to this O. And so that is an ester. This C double bonded O is also attached to that nitrogen. And so that's an amide. This carbon here is an amine. This is a carboxylic acid. And this is an aromatic ring, also known as a phenyl group.